What up, people? What up, people? What up, people? How y'all doing? Good morning. It's California time, so it's about noon. Right at noon, actually. Just doing this because I want to get my podcasting on. I love sports, love talking about sports, and love giving sports takes. To the point where I don't even watch First Take or anything like that anymore. Not only because I don't have the time in the morning, I'm too busy getting ready for work and things like that. But it's just, it's all subjective, right? So everything I'm saying is even subjective too. But let's start with the biggest mishap of the weekend, which is the Dallas Cowboys. Was it shocking? Yes and no. Shocking that they got beat like that, but not shocking because this is what Dak is known to do, right? And my biggest thing is I have problems with teams, some teams especially, like my New York Giants. I remember when Eli Manning was probably one of the best game managers I've ever seen. Didn't turn the ball over high, sure throws, possession type throws, didn't take risk, right? Then they paid him and they wanted him to be Peyton, and he's not. Right? He's not going to throw 40 times and be 32 for 40, 562 yards and 6 touchdowns, and that's not his game. Not only did New York not have the weapons to help him do that, but they were trying to make him throw people open, and that wasn't his strong suit to me. So, same thing with Dak, right? They gave him the keys and they said, hey, Dak, you do it, right? But he did it in a managing type way. Stats were good, turnovers were low, but they were missing one ingredient on offense. And they start relying on CD a little bit too much, right? They missed the running game. They had no running game, right? In the playoffs, you got to punch people in the mouth. You got to run in that middle. You got to get dirty. You got to milk the clock. You got to have sure shot possessions with some type of points. And all that comes from the running game. All those ESPN 2-play highlights, you're not getting that in the playoffs. Defenses are focusing, they're studying more. It's a lot more on the line. It's not the regular season. And Dak has yet to understand that, right? So you can get rid of any coach you want to get rid of, but you're going to get the same Dak Prescott because you've already been there getting rid of coaches. So it's not McCarthy's fault, right? Yes, he got the keys and he started making offensive plays. Oh, he's the offensive play caller, but it's not his fault. How is it his fault? Right? When he prepped with Dak, he helped Dak, he molded Dak. Dak was in MVP talks less than 3 weeks ago. Right? As funny as it sounds, Dak Prescott was right there in MVP conversation until Lamar Jackson had that game in San Francisco. And Dak kind of struggled against Detroit. Okay? But, the Cowboys are the Cowboys, man. Maybe it's a Jerry Jones thing. Maybe he needs to take that microphone out his mouth, away from his mouth, back up a little bit. Let the game speak for itself. Let the coaches coach free willingly and not looking over the shoulders. And the reporters set him up every year. What they do is before the playoffs even start, they say, is Mike McCarthy your guy? You don't think coaches read newspapers and hear this? No coach wants to have one game, one shot, and if you lose, you're out. They'll say they'll do it. They'll take the job in position, but they're paranoid the whole game. They're not calling freely. They're not high-fiving their guys on the sideline. It's dangerous. You don't do that. Okay, so the Cowboys is who they always will be, unless they loosen up. I know they got all this pressure. They like to call themselves America's team, all that stuff. So that comes with a lot of pressure. People root for them to lose just off of that alone. And their fans can get obnoxious and annoying and just delusional, but they're fans. Every year is supposed to be their year, so they're doing what they're supposed to do, right? Now let's get to the Steelers. I don't think it's fair for Mike Tomlin's job to be on the line. Yes, he's had all these incredible years of making the playoffs, but you got to look at it. He had an aging, reeling Ben Roethlisberger, right? That would not quit. That got a cool walkout. Meaning They said, we love you. You got us our championships. We're not going to let you go. We're not going to do what the Giants did with Eli Manning. We're going to let you do it on your terms, right? This is where Bill Belichick struggled with Tom Brady, right? He didn't want Brady to do anything on his terms because if he does, it shows that he has no control of the team, and it's somewhat backfired. So, other teams are looking at that and saying, okay, we have to coast with our franchise quarterback who's won us rings and show him appropriation of respect. Now, while doing that, what did Ben do to develop these quarterbacks behind him? What did he do? Nothing. Ben was selfish like that, right? Look at the Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers situation. Jordan Love is playing to the point where people thought that was Aaron Rodgers throwing on Sunday. His technique, his skill, his getting out the pocket, throwing on a run. He watched Aaron and learned. And Aaron was man enough, unlike Brett Favre, to show him some things, right? He showed him the ropes. And not to mention, LaFleur is a good coach. They got a good system. They got a good offense. And what do? What did they do? They ran the ball. Certain teams may not be built for the regular season because they're not highlight sexy teams. But if you put them in the playoffs, they're built for that because they're strong. They got confidence. They believe. They got a running game. They can get stops. They got a bend but don't break defense. That's what it takes to win in the NFL in the playoffs, right? Now, let's move up. The Chiefs. The Chiefs do what the Chiefs do, right? It's Andy Reid. It's always depending on who Andy Reid is coaching against, right? It's not just the Chiefs. It's Andy Reid. He's been there. He's done that. He's decorated. He knows what to do, knows how to do it, knows how to get the most out of his players. He's a player-friendly coach. And around this time of the year, he likes to do things Andy's way, meaning he ain't gonna run the ball. So I don't know why defenses are even remotely worried about any running back they have unless they're running screens, right? Andy does not run the ball. His running the ball is a 3-4 yard pass to his running back. That's him running the ball. It's West Coast offense. It's not going to change. This is what Bill Walsh created, right? They don't run the ball. It's not what they're going to do, right? So if I was defenses, I would make sure that I get physical with their wide receivers, jam them up, and you need a D-line. And within that D-line, a couple exotic blitzes, corner blitzes, safety blitzes. You got to blitz every 2 to 3 plays with Mahomes. You have to. You can't give him no time. You got to get in his face, get him off his spot, have him going left and right, have him looking all over the field. You may think it's a lot of time, right, because you're chasing him all around, but it's not. It's not a lot of time. If he has anything over 4 or 5 seconds, that's a lot of time. So you have to cut the gap short between maybe 2 to 3 strong seconds, right? As soon as he hikes, D-line rushing, they're not getting there, you got to bring a blitz. You got to hide, have the skies blitzes, stuff like that, to get him off the spot. Something that I think the Ravens can do if they make it and they face each other. The Ravens can do that. I know for sure the Ravens can do that. The Ravens are the most decorated team left in the NFL, solid top to bottom, safety, linebackers, defensive line. I mean, it's their Super Bowl to win or lose, right? Oh, now let's talk about the Eagles, man. Once again, all the hype is on Jalen, MVP quarterback. They paid him good money. They threw the team in his lap. They traded away Miles Sanders, right? Which was stupid to me because if you trade him away, then who's going to be your running back? He set the tempo. He drains the clock. He goes in that middle and he bangs, right? He knows what to do. He blocks. He did a lot of things. And you bring in Swifty. Swifty is not a running back. He's kind of a gadget back. Always been, even in Georgia. Okay? He's not an every down back. He's not even a third down back unless you're doing like a quick screen. Right? He's a playmaker, yes. But he's a playmaker in space. He does not create space by running through the middle and going left and right and shaking you out your shoes. And no. He does that in space. So again, these teams are forgetting the blueprint and formula of success and what makes them win, right? Because there's no way that the Eagles are falling into the category of let Jalen cook. You see what happened when they tried to let Russell Wilson do that. You can't. You have to have a running game in the playoffs. You have to. Even if you threw the ball all year. Game 1 in the playoffs, if you come out and run it, you'll mess the whole defensive plan up. Because they're thinking that you're going to throw. You got to play off of that. Right? So it's sad to hear Sirianni, he may be fired. Jalen's no good and da-da-da-da. That's just all emotional mumbo-jumbo. They just was in the Super Bowl a year before that. Okay? They're older. That defense is old. They need to get younger on that defense. Okay? I don't know what Slay, how many years or he got left or whatever, but he ain't looking good. Bradbury is looking exactly why the Giants released him. Fletcher Cox, old. Bradbury, old. Well, no, not Bradbury. What is it? Bradford, Bradshaw, Bradham, old. Okay, and then you're going in with the anchor of your offensive line. He's old, Jason Kelce. He told you before the season even started. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do this. Anytime you hear offensive linemen say that, you gotta let him go. Even if you put him on a physical unable to play list, he can still be around the team and bow out that way. You can't put him on the field. He was doing things that I've never seen Jason Kelce do. False starts, missed blocks. I mean, he was showing he was old. He told you he didn't feel like this anymore, but he just wanted to play for his guys. No, can't tolerate that. Anytime a guy that's on a physical football field where it's physical and it's rough and it's tough, right? And he has that thought process in his mind, right? And he's been doing this for a while. Hey man, you gotta move on. You gotta move on. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my sports take, NFL this weekend. Just recapping and off of what I see. I know the draft is coming up. Everybody's projecting this Caleb Williams guy, which I really don't like. Not as a person, because I don't know him, of course, but I don't like his game or his energy. I don't like his coach. I don't like a lot what USC is doing. Because again, formula. What's the formula for USC? Okay? Running backs. You got to have a running back, man. When they were winning, what did they have? They had 2. They had Lindell, right? And they had Reggie. Thunder and lightning. 1-2 punch. If the quarterback ain't quarterbacking, we're gonna run his ball. We're gonna run it as much as we can. And if that's thriving, play action. Everything's gonna be predicated off the run, and we're gonna throw it. But when you're playing physical football, when you're playing nose-touch-nose football, you gotta bang. These kids don't want to bang no more. They just want to get cute, right? They see the hole, but they're not running through it with burst. They tiptoeing, right? And let me tell you something. Caleb to me, is a modern day Dak Prescott. A stat whore. All the stats they look so amazing. If you just watch the box score and don't watch the game, you'd be like, this kid is incredible. But watch the game. Because when things get tough, that pressure arises, those blitzes come, he can't read. He don't know where it's coming from, and it's right in his fucking face. I'm sorry, excuse my language. It's right in his face, right? I've seen him get sacked. I've seen him throw it out of pressure, interception. I see him fold like laundry, fresh laundry out the dryer. You gotta fold it up. He folds. So to be a number 1 pick, how? He hadn't even won his division. He didn't win the Pac-12. Even to get a Heisman last year was like, what? Wait. Right? He couldn't get past Utah last year nor this year. So you mean to tell me you had a whole year to study these physical monsters from the mountains of Utah and you still do the same thing? It's the same episode. So how the hell did he win a Heisman last year when he did the same thing this year? How was that even possible? Politics, it's USC. NCAA trying to put USC back on the map, yada, yada, yada. Like, who knows, right? Who knows? Who knows? But, guys, man, I mean, we got to stop watching stats and start watching the full game, okay? This kid wasn't in a pro-style offense. He had 4 set receivers, 3, 4, 5 receivers to throw to, 1-2 throw, 1-2 slant, 1-2 coverage breakdown. He throws it deep every once in a while. He wasn't throwing guys open, right? Mahomes throws guys open. He's pointing, he's directing. He's like a point guard, but he's a quarterback, right? If the slant ain't there, the guys is on option routes. He's working with them, waiting for him. Boom, then he's striking. Caleb don't do that. He dances, he don't see nothing, dances, he gets scared, he gets sacked. He dances, don't see nothing, gets scared, interception. You literally have to be wide open for this guy to make a play. You literally have to be wide open for this guy to make a play. And everyone's like, oh, he throws it on the dime. He throws darts. He's so accurate. I mean, he is a quarterback, so you are supposed to throw, past so many yards, right? You practice that. You're known for that. Cool, right? But quarterbacking is actually being a leader, and sometimes when shit break down, you're putting guys in position to excel, right? I have not seen this kid do this. And, maybe it's NIL, we got $9 million, which is not, hey, I'm all for it. But what I'm not for sometimes is when, in this modern day America with these younger kids, when you give them things that early, what do they work for in the end? What do they have to work for? To them, they already made it. Is he hungry? Does he want more? Because he's driving around in Porsches right now. That was supposed to come after some type of success in the league. We're giving it to them too early, right? They deserve it. I'm not saying, listen, I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of it. As long as they have some type of financial literacy, as long as it's not too excessive to the point where they kind of get the money, they don't want to play no more, like literally, But that's the position I think he's in. I don't think he's going to be that much of a, threat or that much of a name. He's going to go in with the name, but that name is going to slowly decline. He's not decorated like a Bo Nix. He's not hungry like a Michael Penix. Michael Penix, he's hungry because he came off of so many injuries. He has a lot to prove in his mind. And he's coming off a championship loss. So he's mad. He wants to show the pundits, the critics, and even his own fans, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. And let me tell you something. I like him more than Caleb because he don't run. He throws guys open. His arm is way better than Caleb's to me. Way better. And what? They're in a pro-style offense. So that's giving you a glimpse of what it may look like when he goes to the NFL. So I would take Penix number 1. I would take Bo Nix number 2. Or you can go either way because I like Bo Nix too. Bo is like a, he reminds me of a college Chris Winkie without the accomplishments of championships. Senior, been there before, been there a while, about 6-year senior, something like that, 5-year senior. Yeah, but I trust him a little bit more because you can just tell in Bo's face that he's ready. He's ready to be a name. He's ready to prove a lot of things. I don't think Caleb has nothing to prove. Got paid, got the money, he's in LA, limelight, his name is bubbling, got a nice little car. I don't think he has anything to prove. I don't. That's just my opinion. You guys tell me, man. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Like I said, I'm new to this, you know what I mean? But I am true to this because what I'm speaking on, I know. So yeah, man, I'm at work now. Just figured I'll share some thoughts with you real quick. Outside of what the radio may say or what they be doing because, yeah, I know sports too. So this is Sports is Life. It's your boy Chris. Holla at me. I'm gone.